I woke up face down in the mud. My whole body was shaking, but my legs, they wouldn't move. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. That's when I realized I'd been struck by lightning, and I was completely alone. Hello. Today I'm going to tell you a real survival story. My name is Marcus Cole. I'm 34 years old and I'm an elementary school teacher in Denver, Colorado. My life was ordinary. Every morning I'd have breakfast, teach math to kids, watch TV in the evenings. I loved adventure movies, but I'd never experienced an adventure myself until that day. It was mid-June. Summer vacation had just started and I wanted to give myself a small gift. A simple hike near Pikes Peak in Colorado. Alone, one with nature, time to think. It wasn't anything dangerous. At least that's what I thought. I set out at 9 in the morning. The weather was beautiful. The sky was bright blue, the wind was gentle. In my backpack I had some water, a few sandwiches, and my phone. That was it. Because this was just a few hours walk. I'd be back by afternoon. The first hour was great. Bird songs, greenery, fresh air. Everything was perfect. I felt free. But toward noon, the weather started to change. The sky suddenly darkened. I heard thunder in the distance. The wind picked up. Just a summer rain, I thought. I'll get a little wet, I'll head back. But I was wrong, because this wasn't just rain. A storm was coming. Within 10 minutes, the rain started. First light drops, then pouring. The sky was almost black. The thunder was so loud my ears were ringing. Lightning lit up everything around me. I started running. I was following the trail, but mud had made everything slippery. I should take shelter under a tree. No, wait. Sheltering under a tree was dangerous. I'd taught that to kids when I was teaching. You don't hide under trees in a storm. But where would I go? That's when it happened. A white light. An explosion sound right by my ear. And then, nothing. I woke up face down in the mud. My whole body was shaking, but my legs, they wouldn't move. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. That's when I realized I'd been struck by lightning, and I was completely alone. As my head spun, I tried to come to my senses slowly. How long had I been unconscious? 1 minute? 10 minutes? I didn't know. All I knew was this. I couldn't feel my legs. In a panic, I brought my hands to my legs. They were there, but I couldn't feel anything, like they were someone else's legs. I tried to move my right leg. Nothing happened. I tried my left leg. Still nothing. No, 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 I murmured. My voice was hoarse. My throat was burning. I tried to turn myself over with my arms. I lay on my back. Rain was hitting my face. I looked at the sky, and in that moment, I understood the truth. Lightning had paralyzed me. I had no medical knowledge. I didn't know how it happened. Maybe it affected my spinal cord. Maybe it was just temporary. But in that moment, lying on that muddy trail, all I knew was this. I couldn't walk, and no one knew where I was. I tried to get my phone out. It should be in my pocket. My hand was shaking. I reached into my pocket. It was empty. The phone must have fallen. I looked around. Mud, leaves, rocks. I couldn't see the phone. That's when the real fear came. I wouldn't be able to call for help. No one knew where I was. I hadn't even told anyone at home. I just said, I'm going for a hike. Which mountain? Which trail? I hadn't said anything. Okay, Marcus, I told myself. Calm down. Think. I looked around. The trail curved downward. When I'd turned back, half an hour ago, I'd passed a small picnic area. There was a parking lot there. People came there by car. If I could reach there, maybe someone would come. Maybe someone would see me. How far was it? Maybe 2 kilometers. Maybe a little less. 20 minutes at normal walking pace. But I couldn't walk. so I would crawl. In the first 10 minutes, I only moved a few meters. I was grabbing the ground with my hands, pulling my body. Every movement hurt. My arms were burning. My chest was hitting rocks. But I didn't stop, because stopping meant dying. The rain wouldn't stop. My clothes were soaking wet. I was shivering. The cold was seeping into my bones. But I kept going. After half an hour, I reached a small tree. I leaned against it and stopped to catch my breath. I looked at my hands. They were bleeding. Rocks and branches had torn my skin. My fingertips had turned purple. I lifted my head and looked at the road ahead. How far was there still? Maybe another 1.5 kilometers. It seemed impossible. No, I told myself. Don't give up. Just a little more. I started moving myself again. An hour had passed. Maybe more. I wasn't counting anymore. I was just moving. Pull, drag, pull, drag. A mechanical rhythm. The brain wasn't working, just the body. At one point, I came across a small stream. The water was cold but clean. I dipped my face in the water. I drank. I drank a lot. Then I kept going. Maybe 2 hours had passed. The sky was getting even darker. Evening was approaching. Panic rose inside me. If it gets dark, I won't be able to see the road. I'll get lost. Speed up, I told myself. Speed up! But I couldn't speed up. My body was at its limit. My arms were trembling. With each pull, the pain increased more. At one point, I collapsed on the ground. Let me rest a bit, I said. Just 1 minute. I closed my eyes. But I pulled myself together. No! Don't sleep! If you sleep, you won't wake up. Slowly, I opened my eyes and started moving again. 3 hours had passed. It was almost completely dark. The moon was slowly starting to appear. Thanks to its light, I could see the road. Then, I saw it, in the distance. Not too far. A sign. Wooden, a small sign. Picnic area. 200 meters. 200 meters, I cried. I cried again, but this time from hope. 200 meters, I said. You can do it. Just a little more. I started pulling myself again. I didn't feel pain anymore. I was just focused on the goal. 200 meters. 200 meters. 200 meters. At the end of the 4th hour, I saw it. The picnic area. Wooden tables. A trash can. And most importantly, a parking lot. It was empty, no cars. But there was asphalt. Flat, clean, beautiful asphalt. I reached there. I felt the asphalt with my hands. It was real. I'd made it. But it wasn't over yet. Because there was no one, no cars, no people. I was still alone. I tried to crawl to the middle of the parking lot. If a car came, it would have to see me. And I waited. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Darkness had completely fallen. Moonlight illuminated the parking lot. There was silence, only the sound of wind. Then, I heard it. Engine sound, a car. Coming from far away, I tried to wave my arms. Here! I'm here! I shouted, but my voice was too weak. The car was approaching. Its headlights were shining. Would it see me? If it didn't see me, it would pass by. Please, I whispered. Please see me. The car slowed down. It stopped. 2 people got out, a young couple. The woman screamed, "Oh my God, there's someone there." The man ran to me. Hey, are you okay?" "Lightning," I said. My voice still wouldn't come out. Lightning struck me. My legs. The man immediately grabbed his phone. The woman came to me, covered me with her jacket. "Stay calm," she said. "Help is coming. You'll make it." I would make it, because I already had. 8 hours, 2 kilometers, and I survived. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. Doctors looked at me in amazement. Lightning strikes usually killed or left permanent damage. But I was lucky. Temporary paralysis. Within a few days, the feeling in my legs started coming back. "Miraculous," the doctor said. "And the fact that you crawled that distance for 8 hours? Incredible willpower." It wasn't incredible. It was just survival. A week later, I left the hospital. I could walk. Slow, but I could walk. The wounds on my arms were healing. But the mark in my mind, that took a little longer. Because that night, in that rain, in that mud, I saw death. And I fought against it. Now I can tell you this from here. If you ever feel helpless, if you ever say, I can't do it, remember, you can. Because the human body is incredibly strong. But the human mind is even stronger. Thank you so much for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. See you in the next survival story. Take care of yourself.